Breaking news! The world is witnessing a seismic shift in international relations. The global power map just shifted. Pakistan and Saudi Arabia have signed a historic defense pact, sending shockwaves through capitals from Washington to Beijing. This isn't your average handshake deal. It's a bold, strategic move that's been months, if not years, in the making. It's a full-scale military alliance. If you attack one, you face both. This pact is a clear message. Unity is strength. The announcement from Riyadh stunned the world, signaling a new axis of power in the Muslim world and beyond. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and Pakistan's Prime Minister didn't just shake hands, they embraced, sealing a bond rooted in shared faith, mutual respect, and a vision for a new era of cooperation. The Riyadh-Islamabad Strategic Security Treaty commits both nations to mutual defense, echoing NATO but with a distinctly regional flavor and unique ambitions. But here's the twist, this is just the beginning. The ink is barely dry, and already the world is buzzing with speculation. The pact invites other nations to join, aiming for a broader Asian-African Muslim NATO, a coalition that could reshape regional security. Major Gulf and African players are already on the guest list, turning this into a global coalition for countries long sidelined on the world stage, eager for a stronger voice. The world's diplomats scrambled. What does this mean for oil, for US influence, for existing alliances, and for the delicate balance of power? This wasn't a reaction in isolation. It's a calculated response to a rapidly changing world order. It was a direct response to global events that left these nations feeling exposed, vulnerable, and determined to take control of their own destiny. Instead of waiting for a seat at someone else's table, they're building their own. And it's set to be massive, ambitious, and inclusive. The message is clear. A new world order is being written, and these nations are holding the pen, determined to shape their own future. The world is watching, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Every move from here on out could redefine the global landscape for decades to come. How did we get here? What events, decisions, and shared challenges have shaped the powerful alliance we see today? Pakistan and Saudi Arabia's alliance is decades in the making, built on a foundation of trust, mutual respect, and strategic necessity. For years, Pakistan's military has served as the kingdom's unofficial guardian, not only training Saudi forces but also playing a crucial role in safeguarding Islam's holiest sites, Mecca and Medina. Their bond is built on shared faith, deep cultural ties, and the hard realities of geopolitics in a turbulent region. But recent global instability, rising regional threats, and shifting superpower loyalties have pushed them closer than ever before, making cooperation not just beneficial, but essential. With traditional allies like the US stepping back from the region, both nations realized they could no longer rely on others and saw the urgent need to take control of their own destinies. Secret talks began over a year ago, with leaders from both sides meeting behind closed doors to tackle tough questions about command, intelligence sharing, and funding for joint operations. The driving force behind these negotiations? A shared resolve to stop being pawns in someone else's game and instead to become the masters of their own fate. The pact they signed is more than just paperwork. It's a bold declaration. We move the pieces now. The signing in Riyadh was more than a ceremony. It was the formalization of a partnership years in the making, witnessed by the world and celebrated by both nations. Together, Pakistan's formidable military strength and Saudi Arabia's vast economic power form a force that is impossible to ignore, reshaping the balance of power in the region. This alliance is deeply rooted in history, forged by modern threats, and driven by a shared vision to shape the future on their own terms. It's a new chapter, one written by those who refuse to be written off, determined to leave their mark on history for generations to come. The ink was barely dry on the historic agreement when the alliance's next phase began to unfold, almost as if the world had been holding its breath for this very moment. This was never just about two countries. The vision was always bigger, more ambitious, and far-reaching than anyone had imagined. Invitations went out to Gulf neighbors, UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, nations with modern militaries, deep pockets, and a shared interest in regional stability. The Gulf's response? Swift and enthusiastic, as if they had been waiting for this opportunity to step onto the global stage together. The idea of a unified defense front, pooling resources and expertise, was simply too powerful to ignore. Suddenly, a core bloc emerged: Gulf wealth, Pakistani military muscle, and a shared sense of purpose, all coming together in a way that felt both natural and historic. But the real surprise came from Africa. where leaders saw a new path opening before them. Burkina Faso's Ibrahim Traoré and other leaders saw the alliance as a chance to break free from Western security dependence and to chart their own course. They wanted partners, not patrons, and this pact offered exactly that, a relationship built on mutual respect and shared goals. African inclusion wasn't just about numbers, it was a statement. This is a movement of the global South, a coalition determined to shape its own destiny. Shared colonial histories and a hunger for sovereignty united these nations, forging bonds that went deeper than politics or economics. The alliance now spanned continents, combining Gulf resources, Pakistani expertise, and Africa's demographic power into a formidable force. It was a new map of influence, one the world couldn't ignore, signaling a dramatic shift in global power dynamics. The circle was expanding, drawing in new members and allies, and its momentum was truly unstoppable. A new force was rising, and everyone, friends and rivals alike, was taking notice, wondering what this alliance would mean for the future. Africa's embrace of the alliance was no accident, it was the result of a continent on the rise. African nations have quietly built economic and diplomatic clout, and now they're demanding respect. Leaders like Traoré challenged old colonial relationships, insisting on equality and self-determination. When global crises hit, Africa acted as a bloc, shaping policy and asserting its interests. This unity made African nations attractive partners for the new alliance. Their moral authority, rooted in centuries of struggle, carried real weight. The bond with Asia and the Middle East was more than strategic, it was a shared dream for a fairer world. Joining the pact was a natural step, a chance to design a security framework by and for the global South. This wasn't about swapping one set of foreign powers for another, it was about true partnership. African voices would finally be heard and respected. The African Renaissance was no longer just talk, it was a geopolitical reality. With this alliance, Africa had arrived on the world stage. The continent's time had come. This alliance wasn't born in the spotlight, it was forged in secrecy. For months, top generals and ministers from Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and their partners met behind closed doors. The stakes were sky high. Secrecy was essential to avoid outside interference. Negotiations were intense. What would trigger collective defense? Who would command joint forces? How would they standardize equipment? The goal, a credible, effective military force, not just a paper tiger. But the vision went further, protecting trade routes, securing resources, and leveraging economic power for development. The alliance was designed as a vehicle for both security and prosperity. At the final summit, leaders knew they were making history. They were building a bloc independent of old Cold War alignments, championing the developing world. The whispers in the corridors of power were about to become a global roar. The world would never be the same. The announcement sent shockwaves through global capitals. In Washington, alarm bells rang. Was U.S. influence in the Middle East fading? Israel saw a united Muslim military bloc as a major threat, especially with nuclear-armed Pakistan involved. Israeli leaders scrambled diplomatically, urging Washington to contain the alliance. In the East, China saw both opportunity and risk, a multipolar world aligned with its interests, but also a new power to watch. Beijing's response was cautious, welcoming stability, but wary of complications. Russia, meanwhile, cheered the move as a blow to Western dominance. Moscow's media called it a brave step toward a multipolar world. Every major power recalibrated, knowing the global chessboard had just changed. The world was on edge, and the new alliance was at the center of it all. Despite the headlines, this alliance is about more than military might, it's about sovereignty. Member nations are tired of foreign capitals dictating their futures. This is their declaration of independence, decisions made on their own terms. A key goal is resource control, ensuring oil, minerals, and wealth benefit their own people, not outsiders. Acting as a bloc, they can demand fairer deals and invest in their own development. Mutual defense is crucial, but it's a shield, not a sword. Deterring aggression, not provoking it. The alliance's charter stresses partnership, not dominance. It's about building a new model of international relations, mutual respect, shared progress. By pooling resources and knowledge, they aim for stability and prosperity. This is more than an army, it's a blueprint for a better world. Together, they're stronger and determined to shape their own destiny. The alliance's ambitions go far beyond defense. Economically, they're planning a vast common market, free trade from Pakistan to West Africa. A joint infrastructure fund will finance mega projects, railways, ports, and more. Militarily, they'll form a joint command and rapid deployment force, plus develop their own defense industry. This means less dependence on foreign arms and more self-reliance. Diplomatically, they'll vote as a bloc in global forums, amplifying their voice. A permanent council of foreign ministers will coordinate strategy. In technology and education, they're launching scholarships and research funds to drive innovation. The goal, a new house of wisdom for the global south. This is about securing the present and investing in a shared, brighter future. What does this all mean? We're witnessing the dawn of a new era in world politics. The age of unipolarity is over. New actors are demanding their place at the table. This alliance is a direct challenge to the old world order built for Western interests. The global South is rising, building its own institutions and rules. This isn't about the West falling, but about a more balanced, multipolar world. More voices, more perspectives, leading to greater stability and partnership. The spirit of the alliance is hope, unity, and self-determination. The road ahead won't be easy, but the momentum is unstoppable. For millions, the world is changing for the better. The sun is rising from the south, and the world is watching a new day begin.